Visit AnsonPDR.com for the largest selection for just about all your PDR tools, where you'll find hog glue and hog tabs.
Mobile Tech RX, the app that helps you make more money.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. It only took like a month to move this dang house, but I am back, and I'm back with Mr. Daniel Grom, Mr. Vincent D'Alessandro, and we're all here on episode number 241. Vince, you look a little rednecky. Daniel, you still look old. Good to know that things are back. They're in good order since I've been gone. But I'm glad to be back, and cheers.
Welcome back, Hudson.
Yes, welcome back.
It's good to see your face.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
I'm so glad to see my face too.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. He's too young to know what that's from.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what show that is.
Welcome back, Cotter.
Holy
Boom.
moly.
Dang, son. This millennial's got some moves.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking a little rough because I'm working on my Halloween costume and Movember at the same time.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Are you going to say what your Halloween costume is?
Well, you guys can't see my hat, but it says Dick's Morningwood Service. What does it say?
Need wood.
We
got it.
We got it.
Yeah. So the wife picked this up at the Spirit. Anyone could be a redneck now. All you got to do is go down to the Spirit Halloween store and buy this hat. That's what I'm going to be, a redneck.
My favorite thing was to see someone put a Spirit sign on New York on Yankee Stadium after they lost the ALDS.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, your Houston boys are down 2 games right now, so we'll see what happens with that.
You know what? I didn't even expect them to win a game against the Twins in the wild card, and then we went undefeated. I didn't even expect us to win the ALDS, and then here we are. Like, we have most of our it's bad.
Are you guys banging garbage cans?
They figured out a different way to cheat.
Yeah. We bang bang baby. I guess this proves. Anyways, we can go on. I can go on about my Astros all day long.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, we got an action-packed show, don't we, Hudson?
Is it action-packed?
I think so. We're going to talk to quite a few people, and not really a few people, but we're going to talk to people.
Yeah,
a person.
I want to say thank you to. There's a few guys out there that actually messaged me and said, like, "Hey, man, I miss you. I miss having you on the show." And I just.
No, come on, you lied.
It was nice. Like, it was weird. I was like, oh man, you need to get. Yeah, it was. I was like, you know what? I really thank you. I really appreciate that.
All 2 of you.
All 1.5 of you. Thanks for that. But it was not. It was nice to know that people like having me around. You know,
I had a message today from a guy. He's like,
I'm one of them. I missed you.
Yeah, and one guy today, he hit me up. He's like, I'm in the shop all day today, and I'm catching up on all your episodes. Where's Hudson? What's wrong with Hudson? Is there something happened to Hudson? So,
guys, and we'll be talking about this later on the episode. Just maybe a little bit of how we can deal with our stress and get over that kind of stuff. And speaking of somewhat stress-related things, or we don't know, there was unfortunately a death in the PDR community. Now, Daniel, Vince, and myself do not know this gentleman personally, but John did, and said he was an incredible tech and an incredible man.
Yep.
And Vince, can you just give some more details on that and how we can maybe help that family?
Yeah. Well, his name is Gavin Reherman, and he was out of Kentucky, and he was only 44 years old. And last week he suffered a massive heart attack at the age of 44, which is really young. I'm 46, and that kind of gives me a little bit of a wake-up call. But he's leaving behind 3 beautiful young daughters and a wife, and
dude, that just threw a knife through my heart when I saw his picture of his little girls, because they're quite young.
Yeah,
man, that
hurts when I see that.
And talk about a fear. What a fear I that's like a fear of mine. I'm just leaving my family behind like that.
Yeah. And for all intents and purposes, I mean, you don't know. You don't know if you're going to be gone the next day. This guy looked perfectly normal. I didn't know him personally, but a lot of the technicians did. In fact, guys from Indiana reached out to me. Mike Glidwell from Dentmate, he asked me to talk about this on the podcast, so that's why we're talking about it. He was really close with him. And it's tragic when it's that young and leaving behind a very young family. So
this is what I love about our community is, guys come together at things like this. There is a GoFundMe page for his girls, and we encourage you all. We'll put it in the show notes so you guys can go there. Please contribute. It doesn't matter if it's $5, something, whatever you can throw at them. When you see these little girls, you're going to want to put more in.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely gorgeous.
And, in the past, there's been money grabbers, throughout GoFundMes and stuff like this. I assure you, and PDR Tool Time assures you that this is not the case. Whenever we get behind something, we usually do research ahead of time to make sure that there's no scamming going on. And this is legit. So this is going straight to the family. And when you do GoFundMe, don't click to donate to GoFundMe. It gives you that option. That's how they get paid. Just say no. And go on, and all your proceeds will go directly to the family.
Okay, well, I'm confused.
Yeah, it usually asks like for 1% of whatever you give or whatever on GoFundMe when you actually go to fund them. So that's how GoFundMe stays alive, is by donations. Unless you want to donate to GoFundMe, but it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
me being the cheap bastard I am, I tend to want it to go all to the family.
Well, if we don't have GoFundMe, then we don't have GoFundMe.
Yeah, and so here's you guys were just badgering about that because we were talking a little bit about this before we got on here, and I've been in the hullabaloo of a nightmare of moving, and it was supposed to be something easy breezy, but it was not. So that's why I took it over a month and why I've been gone. But you got. In the process, I'm like, man, I need to get life insurance. You were
complaining about something. What were you complaining about, Hudson?
What was I complaining about? I was complaining about something.
I don't know.
We're going to get to that. But we have a phone call that I think we can talk a little bit more about that. Yeah. But you guys were badgering after talking about Gavin about getting life insurance. And so, and I was like, I need to do research. And you guys said both simultaneously, term life insurance. As a young guy, I don't know what that is, but now tomorrow I'm going to look up term life insurance and getting some term life.
And we'll go into that in a minute. Yeah. Let's make our phone call and get that in the open and, promote this little thing that's going on over here in Missouri in the next week, I believe. And
from sad news to happy news.
Yeah. So let's go there first and then we'll get into the rest of the show. Yeah. Let's see if he answers or see who answers. This might be a mystery answer.
What's up, big dog?
Hey, is this Mr. Trey Scott?
It is Mr. Trey Scott.
Well, welcome to PDR Tool Time. Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing? You got
Hudson just beamed you up, Scotty.
Man, that's awesome. How are y'all doing?
We're doing good. Been a long time. I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know, man. It's been a little bit. It's a few time zones away.
Yeah, we're going to get into that while you're doing your sabbatical across the country. But before that, we got to talk about what's going on. I believe it's next weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I think a better person to tell you about that would be the new president of the PDR World Cup, which is how about those apples?
Yes.
Well, I mean, is that all right with y'all?
No offense to Adam, probably a way better looking president.
There's no doubt about that.
I don't know who the president is. Who is it?
Hannah.
Montana.
Hannah just got named president of the PDR World Cup a few days ago. So there was a little announcement. And it was supposed to be at the event, but that's okay. That's okay. So how about y'all talk to her about it?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Cool, man. Here you go.
Hannah.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. This is Vince. You're on the air with Daniel and Hudson from PDR Tool Time.
Guys, before we go any further, I have to. Sorry, I just interrupted. I did that. See, I'm back now. Interrupted. Guys, anyone that has never met Hannah, you need to understand that she is the sweetest person ever that you'll ever meet, but she is vicious to anyone that is an insurance adjuster.
I mean, that's a pretty good description, I guess.
Absolutely.
Don't let my secrets out, though.
Yes.
Oh.
So, well, congratulations on your appointment of president of PDR World Cup over there in Missouri.
Well, thank you so much.
And what brought that about? Why did they choose you? Yeah, what's going on?
Well, Trey's been on the board for over a year now. Adam called him up, and so I've actually been able to have a bunch of conversations with Adam himself. And this year he called me up, and I just graduated in May with my master's in marketing. Nice. So he called me up and he was like, hey, it's an off year because of COVID. Will you just help me with the promotions and kind of keep the momentum up for this year leading into next year?
That's awesome. And you obviously stepped up to the plate and then some, huh?
Yeah. I mean, Tay and I were honestly already planning on this little trip. And the timing just lined up to where we just redirected our focus.
So now you're on the U.S. tour of World Cup 2020, right?
Yeah.
And where are you guys now?
I was joking with Tay a second ago because I couldn't really remember where we just pulled over. Oh. We just got our motorhome about a month and a half ago, and so in 1 month we'll officially be full timing. But right now we're kind of transitioning into that. Kind of works out. We're getting all the bells and whistles out, but I know the next few steps will be Hutchinson, Kansas, Wichita, Kansas City, and then up to Branson. So we're on our last little leg of everything.
Awesome. So when is the actual meetup in Branson?
So the meetup is the 23rd and 24th. So not this coming Friday, but the next Friday, and that's Saturday. Friday night will be more of like an informal get-together dinner. I heard something about karaoke at the Irish bar.
Woohoo! Vince knows nothing about that.
Last year.
Yeah.
And then Saturday will be what we've been calling a Truckapalooza. So some of the vendors are still coming out, like Anson and A1 and PDR Finesse. And so we'll just kind of have a get-together. I know one of my favorite things about the industry is the sense of community.
Sure.
But I think a lot of us have been missing that this year. So hopefully it gives enough people the opportunity to come out, have a good time, buy some tools, really hang out.
Just enjoy each other's company, I love the fact that, when you guys were cruising back from Houston, you stopped and saw me in Fort Worth and Burleson, and we had a good few hours together, and it just reminds me of all the good people that are in our industry, and I enjoy the company of, because, we're missing that this year, definitely.
For sure.
So, okay.
I know Trey and I were stuck in a little town of like 2,600 for 5 months with just me, him, and another tech. So we definitely are enjoying stretching our legs a little bit.
Well, awesome. So we're gonna. Hey, it's Hudson here. So, are you? Do you have any besides just the meetup? Any other immediate big changes coming up for the PDR World Cup? Is there a plan for 2021, or are we just going to take it year by year?
I think right now, like a lot of things, it's going to be year by year for sure. We're planning on it next year. We haven't really made any finite decisions as of yet. I think we're kind of in the standstill mode until either the election's over and everything kind of shows how it's going to go, or until just all the mandates in general start lifting, hopefully. You know what I mean? So I wish I could be like, here are all the cool, innovative ideas that we're talking about and exactly how we're going to implement them. But I can't really do much.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it'll always pretty much be in Branson or that area, though, right? Is that the goal for you guys?
So right now, yeah, that's what we're planning on. For sure, next year would be Branson.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Hudson and myself and Hannah and Trey, we had a great time last year. I mean, the Irish pub was great. You know, the karaoke. I think we ran back to that place a couple times throughout that weekend, having a good time. Hudson really liked the train that was outside of the hotel. That was really cool.
Yes, I did. I have a son that's obsessed with trains, so I was very much excited about it. But Hannah, can I? No offense to you. Can I talk to Trey for a second?
Yeah, you can talk to Trey.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Hannah, thank you for coming on and letting us know about that and letting our PDR community know.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime.
Trey.
What's up, my tiny-handed friend?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Trey, so something we're going to talk about a little bit today on today's show is like kind of just stress and those kinds of things. I've noticed a significant difference in your drop of stress levels in recent years, and I just wanted to know like how you've overcome that, or how it's something you're dealing with, or I just noticed a significant difference in your demeanor and being able to be a little more chill than years past. Just want to know what are you doing to combat that a little bit?
Well, I tell you what, the first thing I did is I got Facebook off of my phone. Okay, and that was actually a really big deal. I'm not even joking. So I'm on Facebook about every other day, and if you notice my likes and my hearts, and I kind of scroll through but I'm not on there. I don't get involved in any of the mess. Kind of stay in my lane, and that's been a huge thing for me as far as stress. Even Hannah,
Trey, I've been doing the same thing, but I get this peer pressure from this one particular friend all the time for not responding to posts. What would you suggest to do with him? Should I just beat the crap out of him? And
no. I mean, I never advocate violence. That should be a last resort.
You only advocate violence if someone's tools burn to the ground.
I mean, I'm just saying. So, fuego.
His initials are VD.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, every once in a while, it just has a flare up, so it just comes in different forms.
Exactly.
But thank God there's Valtrex. No, that was too much. No, there was the line. Was the line.
Hey, stay in the lane. Stay in the lane. Stay in the lane.
Got it. No, but as far as my stress level, I mean, to be 100% honest with you, Hannah.
Oh no!
I got him here. What did he do?
Oh,
hold on.
He's in a.
Did he hit mute
in the middle of Kansas?
Technical difficulty.
He hit mute on his phone. He's still talking. Come on.
Oh.
Come on, Trey.
Trey, you hit mute.
You hit mute. Oh, he hung up. Okay.
Is he going to call back?
He's calling back. He's calling back. We lost you. You there? Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. I got to send you over to the podcast. Okay, there you are.
There we go.
Are we back?
Yeah.
You are back.
Okay. Well, like I was saying, Hannah has been wonderful at taking my particular stressors, which actually has to do with my interaction with people. And it's all people. It could be a nice person, but it's like if I have X amount of interaction with people a day, I'm going to snap on the next one,
right.
And so I just can't. I've learned my limitations, and Hannah has provided me the opportunity to do what I love, which is push. I don't have to deal with people. Okay? Literally, if she comes back in the back and is like, Trey, I need you to deal with this customer, it means she does not care if this customer comes back or not. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a last resort. We got to do something different.
Yeah.
So I never get bothered. She handles everything up front. And I literally just push dance all day. That has been, so you asked for some things. Honestly, Hudson, it was me realizing kind of my own triggers and delegating some of the things to somebody who's honestly more qualified to do them. And I think politics isn't my thing.
Yeah, I think you definitely you mentioned something there, Trey, because you're basically saying like you put systems in place in my mind.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
We could get caught up in the Facebook world and all that stuff, and the drama, and trying to create a virtual world for ourselves. And, sometimes we get too caught up in it, and we're all victims of it. Saying, I got chronic foot and mouth disease. I mean, I constantly put my foot in my mouth and say stupid stuff that I just shouldn't. But, I think it's great to have a woman. I know I have a woman, a wife of 20 years, and she keeps me in check. And it sounds like Hannah, she's keeping you in your lane. And
absolutely,
it's also self-discovery. It's not just the women. We have to actually participate in what they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Trey, I'll say one thing I love about you, man, is you're a man who you don't need to prove anything to anyone. But yet you are willing to drop your pride and humble yourself in many ways. I appreciate that about you, and I appreciate how you speak so highly. I mean, it's easy to speak highly of Hannah, but most men don't take that route in this world. They like to, my old lady.
I speak highly of Hannah. I've met her a handful of times. She's
I know,
great
but
lady.
there's just the common thread in the automotive industry I've come to find is men like to talk. They like to bag on their wives, and I love that Trey never does that about Hannah. He has nothing but incredible things to say about her. And I just appreciate hearing that.
Well, that's a common thread. If you got a successful guy, it's because they have a great woman behind them.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it'll be a great woman in front of me. If there's one thing I learned this year, is that politics are not my thing. Okay, so it's just not. I don't enjoy it. It's not something I'm good at. Political positions should not be in my resume ever again.
You just don't have the hair for it, Trey. Let's just be honest,
Is that what it is, man?
Yeah, you
hair?
just don't have the hair. You just don't have the hair for it.
That's perfect.
Huh?
Well,
But
cool.
Trey, man, I appreciate you coming on and allowing us to pick your brain a little bit. Man, thank you for humbling yourself and for realizing that, where your faults may be, you have a wonderful woman by your side who can pick up the slack. So thanks so
100%.
much for letting us pick your brain tonight on that.
Yeah, because that's actually our topic tonight, Trey, is how to deal with stresses and stuff like that. So, that's why we wanted to get you on. It wasn't, we got Hannah's plug in there and everything for World Cup, which is wonderful.
Sure.
But, talking about the topic, and we appreciate you sharing along with that topic as well.
Yeah, no worries. Thank y'all so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing y'all sometime this year.
Hey, safe journey.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Take care.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I like Trey. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he is a good dude.
Yeah, I met him for the first time at PDR World Cup in person. Before that, I just knew him as the guy that encountered dent technology and he went crazy for a while there with dent technology stuff and just trying to prove and disprove things. And I've just seen such an even kill from him now, just to where he's able to kind of let things roll off his back.
Yeah, and Trey grew up in this industry. His father is a well-known dent removal business owner in Lubbock, Texas. And myself and Daniel, we actually trained him. Even though he needed no training, he could have taught us stuff.
That guy is a hoot, man. His dad is just a fucking awesome dude.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to put the explicit one on here this time.
No, he dropped the F-bomb.
He dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah.
That is how nice that guy is.
So, yeah. So, it's wonderful that the Trey, he basically, he's grown up. All he knows is dent removal. So,
yeah.
I shouldn't say that. He knows plenty more. But obviously,
The
he grew
dude's
up
smart.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. Anyways, so moving on, Hudson, because that was a good lead-in to our topic, which is dealing with stresses and life issues that come up. You've closed on a house. You've bought a house. I think today you closed on it officially, so you're moving on to greener pastures 100%. And, we were talking to you prior to the show, and we just mentioned it about life insurance policy. And this is not a plug at all. This is just a casual conversation that came up while we were getting ready for the show.
Here's the deal is we've had to bring up this. We've had several guys pass away in the dent world, and we do a little research and we find out they don't have life insurance for their families. And we're doing these GoFundMe things because they didn't do their due diligence and do what they. If you have kids, you need life insurance.
If you own a
Period.
house, yeah,
Now.
wife, yeah.
And that the whole idea of stress and talking about stress only amplifies that, and that made me realize I was freaking out, guys. I was gone from the show for 1 to 2 months. And I wasn't feeling the mental stress. I didn't feel mentally stressed out. I just, I had a lot going on. Guys, if I could go step by step, all the craziness that just happened and all the things that went wrong with this move and with selling my home and all that kind of stuff. One thing, losing $30,000 in this move, that's a big freaking deal. So talk about stress. I wasn't feeling it mentally, but for a month straight, I literally had tightness in my chest. I had tightness in my chest. I was constantly massaging my chest. I was going to like a massage therapist and having them just like work at my chest, thinking like it was just tight. And thing is, it was stress. I've never in my life.
There's
never
two kinds of stress. Stress that you can control and stress that you don't have any control. Like COVID is a perfect example of you have no control over.
Yeah.
Really. And then stress that you can control. So two different ways to adapt and go for that.
Yeah.
The stress that you can't control is the hardest one. And that you have to kind of let go and kind of get yourself calm in a calm place. And but stress that you can control, it's writing it down for me is what's the key.
Yeah, and that's what we want to talk about, Daniel, in this podcast. Is I would love to hear whenever you're in a stressful and when you're getting stressed out, what are some ways? Because I think if you pretend that you don't get stressed, then I guess you're God Almighty and Jesus walking on water, right? We all get stressed, and to pretend that you don't is just lying to yourself and hurting those around you. So Daniel, I would love to hear. Here's the first
question I want you to ask yourself when you say I'm stressed out, is change that word to I'm fearful.
Okay, so you're saying you're scared of something. That's what's causing stress.
Yeah, that's what stress is. You're fearful of something, but changing that word changes your approach to that problem. Makes sense?
Okay, so this is how you do it, right?
Yeah, I'm fearful of this. And then writing it down. Because if you don't write it down, what happens is you loop it over and over in your head. That's like going to a freaking awful movie over and over and sitting there and watching an awful movie over and over.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Write it down. Get it out of your head. Get it separate from you.
There's definitely something about putting pen to paper. Like I may be a millennial, but I am very much a fan of pen to paper. I've got journals filled. So yeah, I can attest to that.
It really does help get it away from you and get you separate from it.
You don't do text to speech, millennial?
No, dude.
Oh, okay.
I'm the older millennial. Okay. I'm the older millennial.
Gotcha.
Right. So I'm the bridge. I'm the millennial that's the bridge between generations.
Yeah. Well,
but like the other stress of stuff that you can't control, then what I do is I go to gratitude mode. And gratitude is do an emotional flood. Put on your favorite song and close your eyes and just start thinking about everything that's great in your life, everything you're grateful that you have. And think about some of the people in the world that don't have what you have and that they're not in the same country that we are. And you run that and run it and fast forward as fast as you can while you're listening to your favorite song. And I call it an emotional flood.
And what song is that for you? It's Baby Shark, right?
It's what?
Baby Shark, Baby Shark.
You watch?
That's your favorite. That's your favorite one, right?
Watching too much TikTok, aren't you? You're on TikTok.
I got off TikTok. It made me feel like a pervert.
You're on TikTok.
No, man. I was on TikTok to put
you know that song
there.
You're a TikToker.
I know Baby Shark because I have 3 kids under the age of 6. You dingus.
That's funny. No, this month it's Van Halen, dude.
Oh man, yeah, I put Van Halen on, and my wife was like, "Why are you playing this music in the morning?" I'm like, "Oh, because Eddie Van Halen passed away." She's like, "Who?" I'm like, "Oh Lord,
you've done her wrong."
Oh my!
It wasn't me; it was her father. Don't put that on me, ho.
I know. Yeah. Well, you know what? My kid said the same thing. Nicholas, like, yeah, I picked him up from football practice. I'm like, yeah, Eddie Van Halen died today. He's like, yeah, I heard that. Who was he? I failed as a father.
You really have.
You're probably playing Van Halen, and I know what your son listens to. And he's like, this guy, huh? He plays in a band that you can actually understand what they're saying. He's not mumbling.
Right?
Who is this?
Dude, I remember exactly where I was the very first time. I was at Becky Churchill's house in Roanoke Park, probably 1978, 79, when I first heard my first Van Halen album.
What song was the first one that you remember? I remember Atomic Pug, it being the first song I ever heard.
Jamie's Crying.
Okay.
And what was the other song on the album? I can't think right now.
Not Jump. Jeez. No. There's so many on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, just hearing his guitar riffs, I was just like mind blown. Yeah. I was just like, oh my God, what is this music?
Yeah. It kind of sucks as a millennial being, because Van Halen changed the way guitar solos are done.
Yeah. Do you know why his guitar was painted red, black, and white?
No, I would love to
weird
know
like that.
Why?
He was trying to get a patent on his guitar pickups, and he holds many patents from what I understand. And he saw cars that were painted like that, prototype cars, and so he painted his guitar so people couldn't see what his guitar was.
Oh.
And disguised his guitar that way.
Oh, it was like a camouflage.
That famous, it was camouflage.
Huh.
And
that's crazy.
I heard that story and I thought that was a great story.
Yeah, that is cool.
Kind of relating back to cars.
Cars, yes.
So right now, your song. So Vince, in times of stress, besides reaching for whiskey because you're Irish, what are you doing to
well, my greatest thing that relieved my stress was moving out of California and selling my business.
Amen.
Amen. I saw your governor over there, Daniel, was practically begging people to stay.
I don't know what's going on.
People are leaving in droves.
Yeah, he's run out of people to tax.
He is so far down the rabbit hole that he can't get out. Someone's going to have to yank him out and just be like, Gavin, you've done wrong.
And now he's trying to tax us for leaving.
Right. Yeah.
I saw that, dude. That sucks. Yeah. Anyways, Vince, what are some ways, besides getting out of California and not being taxed out the wazoo, what are some ways that you can deal with deal with stress?
It's funny because leading up to that, people ask me, "Hey, are you still pushing dents?" I go, "No, I'm semi-retired." And whenever Craig Dyer hears that from Anson, he always gives me a look like, "You're not retired, boy." But what I do breathing exercises. I spend a whole year doing meditation. Actually, over a year doing meditation. Every Wednesday, I went to a meditation seminar with a group of people and learned how to meditate. And it's the first time I ever saw and felt the presence of God. Was about 8 months into that. And ever since then, I learned how to breathe and slow myself down. And it doesn't always work. And Daniel will attest to this, that when I get fearful or whatever, I start spewing out, insults at Daniel and everyone else that I love around me.
You must always be stressed then.
So it's just it's my language, I guess. It's my language of love. It's my terms of endearment.
Yeah.
You're a freaking asshole.
For most men, that's what we do. Yeah. What do they say? Men get together and say, "Oh, you cocksucker," and well, excuse my language there, gentlemen, but say these horrible things about that guy's a piece of crap, but then behind the guy's back, man, that guy's great, blah 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 blah, he did this and this, he's so amazing. But women, they're like, "Oh God, Becky, you look so great, oh, that dress looks incredible on you," and then when they leave, the women are like, shit. "Can you believe she wore that?"
Exactly. Yeah. So my big thing is breathing. I try and take as much time for myself to slow down and breathe. It's not, honestly, taking a lot of irons off of my fire really relieved a lot of my stress level.
Yeah.
My stress always revolves around finances and the fear of finances, and realizing that, hey, I'm okay. And if I was to die, I'd be okay because I got term life insurance on myself. My family would be okay and stuff like that. So I think between between the age of 35 and 45, I really hustled really hard because I was told at a younger age in my 20s that your golden age is between that time. You have a window of opportunity where you're at your best between 28 and 48 or something like that.
Not true.
Okay. Well, That's what I was told.
Best
And
time
that's
right now is now.
And
Whenever now is.
that could be, but that was where I was going to shine, and that's where I was going to build my empire. So I didn't have to work hard at 40 or 58 years old and bust my ass to the rest of my life. I want to be on cruise control.
Yeah.
Through my 50s and 60s. So, but everyone's different. You know, you started later on in life, Daniel. You didn't even have kids until you were almost 50.
It's because I was living, man.
Exactly.
I was living large.
Hey, Daniel, how old were you when you had your first kids?
I was 32.
Damn, that's how old I am. I can't even imagine that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
But,
Breathing. Hold on, Vince, breathing.
Yes.
Sorry, Daniel. Vince, so with the breathing stuff, I go to a chiropractor. Also, if you guys don't go to a chiropractor, I highly recommend it. It's great for especially for
if you're a dent guy, you have to go to chiropractor.
You have to go to a chiropractor. My chiropractor was noticing that I was stressed. I wasn't feeling stressed, but he could tell. He's like, you seem stressed. I'm like, oh, I do. He's like, yes. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, you need to do some breathing. And he said, 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, and then 4 seconds out. Yeah. So what breathing stuff do you do, Vince?
I did the vowels, the A-E-I-O-U.
I've never heard that. Can you help us out here?
It's more it's a Buddhist thing. You hum, I won't go through all of them, but you're.
So are you exhaling while doing that, or?
Yeah, you're breathing in and exhaling, and when you're in a room with 10 to 15 other people that are doing it, it's pretty magical.
I got another one for you.
Walls start vibrating.
Breath walking.
Breath walking?
Yeah, breath walking. I learned this from a yogi. You walk at a brisk pace, and you think about your breath at your forehead. Mm-hmm. Breathe in 4 times, starting at your forehead, then your mouth, then your chest, then your belly.
Yeah.
And you're breathing in four beats and breathing out 3 beats.
I forgot about that one. That's a good one, actually.
You do it in reverse when you're breathing out while you're walking at a brisk pace, and it's called breath walking. And it's a exercise and stress reliever all wrapped in one.
I don't know if you guys have the app on your Apple Watch, the breath app, the breathe app. Yep. And it kind of reminds you to breathe every once in a while.
Yeah, I turned that sucker off.
Yeah, it gets a little annoying sometimes. But it does
on Saturday. Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, but it's nice. Every couple hours it says breathe. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And I won't follow what it says, but I'll at least I'll stop for a few seconds and just take a big deep breath in.
Yeah.
Have you turned on the hand washing part?
Dear Lord, no. Why would I do that?
It has a hand washing thing.
No.
Hand washing, it has a microphone saying how long you should be washing your hands.
I mean, I guess with COVID and everything right now, that's why they're doing that.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, speaking of which, I just wanted to put this. I think Todd Zimmerman with Carpentech put a little thing out there about Mobile Tech Expo, who's going, who isn't. And he said, and I think one of the options I'm not going because they're going to require mask wearing. Here's what people need to realize is I think, what's his Sherman?
Sheldon. We did not ask Sheldon that, but you know what? It's still 3 months away, 4 months away.
Yeah. And that's what people need to realize is they do not know what the government mandates are going to be at that time.
No.
So we don't know if there's going to be mask wearing at MTE or not. And that's the thing. And honestly, here's the deal. My stance is if I have to wear a mask in order to see everyone that listens to the show and to be around the people that I enjoy being around, I'm willing to put on a mask so I can see you guys.
I guarantee you,
does that make me a sheep? Well, so what? If I have to be a sheep to see the people I love, then so be it. I don't care. I don't care what you think of me. If I like you, I'll put a mask on to see you.
And if you have to wear it during the show, oh well. If I have to wear it, oh well. I won't be wearing it at the bar afterwards. I guarantee you. Yeah, me
neither. No, absolutely.
Well, let me ask you this: haven't we talked about this enough times where we've gotten sick at every MTE afterwards? And
you have old man, not me.
It might not be a bad thing to not be sick. Well, last year, I remember, who was it?
Hudson started.
Somebody wasn't shaking hands. No, I ran into two people. I reached out my hand to shake their hand, and they're like, "No, we're not shaking hands." And James Lee was one of them. James Lee.
Yeah. And he got like the sickest out of all of us.
Yeah, he always got sick.
Dude,
He's like, I'm not shaking hands this year.
Dude, I mean, they call it like, wasn't they call it like convention flu or something like that?
It's total. It happens all the time because everyone is up late. They're drinking. They're doing stuff that they normally don't do, and then their immune system's down. They get sick.
Yeah.
And
So I wanted to talk. I mean, with my stress. So I was telling you guys, like, I was literally feeling the stress in my chest. It's like a big ball. It was super tight. I couldn't get to go away. So I wasn't feeling it mentally. I mentally was not feeling stress, but I guess physically I was. And the people around me, even Daniel, was like, I could hear it in your voice. And I was like, oh, crap. And so, yeah, I guess everything that was going on was stressing me out. And I was being ignorant to that fact. What I did is I started working out again, because I think this is a weird thing is when you start having like pain in your chest. And if you're able to rule out that it's not legitimate cardiovascular things, you think like, oh, I can't work out. Like I'm having a pain in my chest. That's going to make it worse. But what ended up happening is I've worked out now for 2 weeks straight on a regular basis. And I don't have any pain in my chest anymore. I'm eating better. I'm doing better. And it's amazing to me how simply I also I got rid of coffee for a while and just went to black tea, which is a little bit less caffeine content, got rid of all my energy drinks and all that. And, took some supplements like,
exercise is the best stress reliever, period.
Yeah. And I think what it was is I had so much like physically built up stress because while I was moving, I was also like busier than I've ever been. Like my dealerships that usually I only have like 8 or 12 cars at, because you guys know I do only do high-end car dealerships, right? In these high-end car dealerships, they don't get high inventory. They keep low inventory. Well, one of them decided to ramp up to like 200 units or something like that and bought a crap ton of cars. And so I went from like 10 to 12 cars a week to 30 cars a week. And I only serviced them one day. So my stress levels went through the roof, yada, yada, yada. I got it all finished. Like I was able to keep them happy. But I will say working out, and there's no excuse for not working out. I don't think, especially even if you're on the road, there's so much stuff out there nowadays. There's like Beachbody, it's really lame, but Beachbody has all the workout programs for $15 a month. You could stream it to an iPad, to your phone, anywhere, and they have a bunch of workouts that you can do without even using weights. But you can
buy like a rubber band set on Amazon for like $30 and work out in a hotel with just that.
Daniel, I've seen you in person. Are you working out?
I have been working out, but not lately.
No, Tansy, I did buy your finger stretcher thingies.
Did you? What do you think of it?
I was good, but I went overboard and I actually pulled the ligament in my hand. So I had to stop doing it for a few days because I'm like, okay, I could do number 1, just no problem, man. So I moved on to number 2 when I should have stayed on number 1 a little bit longer. But I did notice now that I've stopped, my hands are falling back asleep when I'm sleeping and waking me up in the morning or in the middle of the night. So that really blows. But, get back to your stress level stuff. I think, my issue when I was about your age, Hudson, I actually had to go to get a stress test about your age, about almost 35. I thought I was having a heart attack and panic attacks and stuff like that because I was so stressed out with everything. And that's when I had to go and start taking classes about how to breathe and meditate. And, I grew up fairly religious. I grew up Catholic and went to Catholic schools and all that good stuff. And when the thing that I went to for the meditation, it was not denominational at all. It was nothing to do with religion. It took all the different good things about religions and put it into one session, and it was really good, and I learned a lot from it. And one of the things that I learned is like all organized religions have some type of meditation. Like the Catholics pray the rosary, the Buddhists they do the ohms and the vowels, and amongst other meditation things. The Jews have Kabbalah. Christians, I'm not exactly sure what the Christians do, but they probably pray or do something like that, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm. And when you say Christians, you mean Protestants, right? Because you're just
like Protestant. Yeah, that's what I'm sorry.
Protestant Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we don't. It's just Paul in Scripture says to pray without ceasing. So I would guess that would add up to that.
Right. So there's many different ways, and it wasn't a religious thing for me, but it did open my eyes to other religions in the same sense that everyone contributes to this world, and I'm going to take all the good things from everything that I learned from people and from religions and make my own thing and do my own thing and breathe and relax and deep thoughts with Cowboy Vinny.
So I think one way to wrap up is we start wrapping up as we get to the end here is, we're a tool show. And I think these are tools, right? Tools don't have to be physical things. They can be metaphysical and
mental.
Yeah. And mental. And guys, I cannot stress enough the importance of taking care of your mental and spiritual health. I
want to add one last thing for stress.
Do it, baby. Do it.
And because I just got this thing is my hot tub.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tub is a stress reliever.
One that you keep sending us photos of you in.
Yeah. You don't appreciate that?
Man.
I ain't trying to say there, Hudson.
Hey, I'm happy enough that my new house in Texas has a big enough bathtub that myself and my wife could go in at the same time and have some talk time. I didn't have that. But anyways, the other thing too, before we just touched on it, the whole term life insurance and life insurance policy.
Let's circle around to that. Let's
end with that because I've had term for the last 20 years since I've been self-employed, and it cost me less than $100 a month for like $750,000 in coverage. And if I die tomorrow, my wife, and that's the key thing, is make sure you put your spouse. Don't put your kids down, because your wife would not have any access to that at all. So always make sure you put your spouse down. That way they can control the money and make sure that your kids go to college and all that fun stuff.
I want to clarify something that I learned is you have different buckets depending on where you are in your life. Your first bucket is your health insurance bucket, and you fill that bucket first. So when you're single, you get health insurance. So you get that bucket full. When you get married, you can maybe start thinking about life insurance. But once you have kids, then you really need to think about that life insurance bucket. And you have a house. And is your wife working, Hudson?
No.
What happens if
she doesn't work?
Tomorrow, what happens?
Yeah, no, I know
she doesn't have income.
Absolutely.
So that's where life insurance. Now there's two types of life insurance: term and whole life. Whole life is a investment vehicle, and I think whole life can be good if you start young enough, really young.
You know what? We should find a guy who can come on the show and give us some advice.
But for general purposes, we're going to tell you just
get term
is easy.
If you're under the age of 50, get term.
Yeah.
It's less than $100.
It's not an investment vehicle. It's just life insurance.
And all right, listen, if you don't have a financial advisor, Hudson, go to like Aflac or there any of those.
No, you want to get a fiduciary.
Well, yeah, but
a douche. What? I need a douche.
Fiduciary is a guy that doesn't get paid commission.
Call up Jeff Reeb. Jeff Reeb is a friend of our show. He's a financial fiduciary, financial advisor. He will tell you, hey, call my buddy Joe. He sells life insurance. They don't make a lot of money off of it. You're only paying $100 a month, for crying out loud. So, they make like $10 a month off of you. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's important. It's important.
Very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had one of my best friends, he owned the largest building downtown Santa Rosa, and he didn't have life insurance. They lived in this mansion up on the house, and he had 2 kids. He died of a heart attack, and he was filthy rich. He had a Lamborghini, for Christ's sakes. And she went from rich to dirt poor. She was $2 million in the hole.
Yeah.
Talk about the opposite
She bought Schitt's Creek, right? Did you see that show, Schitt's Creek, yet?
No, I haven't seen it. Yeah. But it's, I mean, that's like the worst scenario ever.
Well, my sister's the worst scenario because her husband used to work for Motorola, a huge big wig, and that's why I say don't leave it to your kids. He left like $1 million to his 3 boys, and all of them got the money, and they were still like 12, 13 years old. My sister did not have the money to raise those kids to college. So she had to go back to work as a nurse to pay to make sure that they got their money. Well, they were going to get their money when they turned 18, but she had to raise those kids the rest of their childhood until 18, and she had to go back to work. And this is my brother-in-law. He made like $500,000 a year working for Motorola. He was a big wig living in Singapore and Scotland and everything. And she went almost into the hole because he didn't leave it to her. So
let's take care of our wives. Let's take care of our families.
All right, let's wrap this up because we're at the 50-minute mark. Let's roll it on in. Come on.
Well, I mean, I'm back, man. So we're back to longer episodes. I just talk a lot. Get over it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, get over it, Vinny.
That's fine.
Guys, level up your mental tools.
Embrace the crazy while doing breathing
and the stress.
exercises.
And keep it stiff. Goodbye.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the industry and tool-related news every week.
Don't forget to grab your Magnatech mat, available at most PDR tool distributors.